Queen Walk Hybrid is an essential attack strategy to know not only at Town Hall 11, but for the rest of the game, all the way to Town Hall 13. So you might as well learn it now if you haven't already. So before you drop your hybrid, the CC troops must be dead. You also must create a nice path for your hybrid as well, and that's where the Archer Queen Walk comes in. You're going to use this to kill the CC troops and clear as large a surface area as possible. And the more valuable the buildings that you take out, the better. Things like the artillery, multi-target infernos, expos, bomb towers are going to be very useful. And then once you have one side of the funnel cleared, you can use a siege barrack on the opposite side. And then of course, only when the pathing is set will you drop your hybrid with your warden. And then by now, this is the easy part, because all you have to do is support your hybrid with your heal spells, and possibly a rage or freeze. So this is the core of your army, okay? I'm not including wall breakers, I'm not including support troops, like funneling troops, wizards, baby dragons, sneaky goblins, super wall breakers, stuff like that. You're gonna have to decide that for yourself, okay? But you are gonna want at least 14 miners, you want at least 10 hogs. Most of the time you want 5 healers, though every now and then you will find a place to walk your queen where you can get away with just the 4. And I always recommend bringing the 2 Cocoa Loons just to keep your healers safe from the seeking air mines. And of course, usually you're going to use 2 to 3 rages on that queen to keep her alive. The heals mostly are to support the miners, and then the freeze can often help with the clan castle or even single infernos. Just remember to add the appropriate cleanup troops like a wizard or 2, or maybe even a baby dragon depending on the base. Now let's get right into these replays. So for our first replay, we have a very nicely done attack by Decimation here, and what he's going to do, he's going to start his queen over on the right corner, and he's going to use some troops to funnel her over to the left. We want her to walk left. Now if you look at that wizard tower over at 3 o'clock, you can see there are 2 tiles between that and the cannon. That makes it very unlikely that as long as the trash is taken care of over to the right, which is what that wizard is for, that she is going to walk up. So he uses those troops to make absolutely certain that the queen goes to the left. And she does. Takes out an expo. She's already taken out the queen. And these are the things you got to scout, look at while you're scouting. You can see if the queen walks along the wall, she's in range of that queen podium, which is perfect. Now he's using wizards over at the bottom to take out some buildings here. And this is a good queen walking fundamental. Look at the corner over at 6 o'clock. You have a wizard tower, and you have a bomb tower and cannon. They're all right up next to each other, no spaces between them. If there was one tile between that bomb tower and the wizard tower, it would be more likely that the queen would walk around, assuming he is going to walk around. She is going to walk around according to the plan, but she's not. He is using wizards over here to make sure that there's as little buildings that goad her in to that side, and he's going to use a super wall breaker to give her access to the eagle artillery here. Okay, and for you base builders out there watching this, usually you want to make it so that you need at least 2 layers of wall breaks for the queen to access the artillery, but Decimation sees this flaw and takes advantage of it very effectively. So now we're at the point where we're sure she is going to walk in, especially after that wall break. But I want you to look over at 9 o'clock, because Colton does a nice little trick to make sure his wizards have tanking, but I want to expand on that and say what he could have done to get more value out of all of those wizards that come out of the siege barrack as well. But here we have a very nicely placed poison spell on the witch, because that witch without a poison spell in the CC is a queen walk killer. But anyways, watch over at 9 o'clock. He drops the siege barrack, and he drops the barbarian king and the P.E.K.K.A. at the same time. I do not recommend doing this, okay? What I recommend doing is you drop the siege barrack, and then you watch to see which way the P.E.K.K.A. goes, and then you drop the barbarian king to go in the opposite direction. That way, the wizards that go in either direction will have tanking. Now there's one last problem as far as the tanking for the wizards go, and that is that wizard tower. Okay, so you have a bunch of trash buildings that are close enough together that the Barbarian King and the P.E.K.K.A. will keep walking, and what's going to happen is there will no longer be tanking on that wizard tower. But if you look both towards 12 and towards 6, there's no defenses on the outside of the wall, so he could have dropped a giant there, and all those wizards that are now being picked off by the cannon and the archer tower would still be alive to help with all the trash that is from, let's say, about 10 to 12, okay? But it doesn't matter. The queen dies, but she got an enormous amount of value, and we have just that nice tight little area where all the defenses are, and these are the kind of areas that miners and hogs work so well together in. And he still has at least 2 heal spells. One is down. He uses the warden's ability, since there's so many defenses in that tight area, a lot of DPS to benefit from as far as that ability goes. We have one more heal still, and this base is completely cooked with very little chance. Oh, there's no chance. It's over. Still got a P.E.K.K.A. alive, and all the storages, high hit point buildings, are up top there on the outside to make funneling difficult, when nowadays with the current meta they should probably be used in the base to slow down the miners. So I wanted to show this replay because there is a very obvious placement for both the siege barracks and the archer queen walk. Now I'm going to recommend to you that you pause the video and you think of where the siege barrack and the archer queen walk should go, and then I want you to play and then get the answer. Now, if you said your archer queen walk should come from the bottom and go straight for the eagle artillery, then you have the same idea that I have, okay? You can access the CC from there. All you have to do is take out a couple buildings. You do have those storages and the town hall, but as long as you use some goblins or wizards or a baby dragon to help you get through that area faster, you should get there in a timely fashion. Now, if you said that the siege barracks should go up top, then you are also right. Clearly that is an area where the king, the P.E.K.K.A., and all those wizards can clear a whole lot of value. And while that's happening, you can always drop the miners on the left side. I would have dropped the miners a little differently than Easy Money would have, but regardless, it ends up as a very comfortable 3-star, and this is a common base design, very comfortably can be taken out with the hybrid, as you're about to see. So we'll go ahead and play this replay, and he's going to start from the bottom, and he only has a level 45 queen, so you don't necessarily need max heroes to do this, but anyways, this is a type of situation where a goblin or 2 would help right here, just to get her through that, okay? Because the time it takes to get through those high hit point buildings adds up. They use a minion here, a miner here, but I recommend bringing the goblin, okay? Goblins are very good funneling troops in situations like this. And the rage is actually good. He uses that to save some time as well, and she places it so that the queen can walk right into it, and by the time she's under a lot of fire, she'll have the heroes being raged as well. Now, one of the mistakes I want to point out in this raid is he does not bring any cocoa loons, and that is extremely dangerous, especially when there seems to be a very obvious place that you want to drop your queen walk. One base building strategy is to make an area that seems obvious to queen walk, and then they just litter that area with seeking air mines, and if too many of your healers die, then your queen is going to die. So I want to pause again here. All I want to do here is elaborate on why I said that this area was such a good area to queen walk. If you look at this open area, look at all the defenses that are adjacent to that wall, that V-shaped, upside down V-shaped wall going around there. You have an Expo, the Grand Warden, the CC is going to come out, you have the Queen, you have another Expo, a Wizard Tower, and a Cannon. The Queen is going to take out all of that, making a beautiful narrow path for the miners and hogs. But anyways, we go through here, and she is going to use her ability to get through the Queen, but first she has to deal with the Loon and Electro Dragon, and as long as you use the poisoned correctly, this is a very easy CC to take care of with your queen walk. Now, every now and then the loon drop may be odd, but for the most part it should be very easy, and a freeze can be a good precaution against that. Now, as you can see, we have the siege barrack coming down up top. I would have put it a little closer to 12 than 11, but it's still going to work out. We have the wizards coming through to trim a defense there and help the P.E.K.K.A. and Barbarian King get a whole lot of value. Now, he just dropped his miners, and the way he drops them I very much disagree with. Okay, he has that nice narrow path going from about 8 up towards 12, but he dropped them on a wide drop, on a sort of line there. That is not as effective as just having your miners move together through that narrow area. Whenever your miners get to encounter defenses as a group, the defenses go down faster and therefore do less damage to the miners. So if you are hitting this base design, it's a very common base design, most TH11s will see it from time to time, I would recommend dropping them from about 8. But regardless, it is going to end in a comfortable 3-star still. And remember, I say with the queen walk, it's always good to clear a lot of surface area, okay? The value you get along there is important, but that goes for the siege barrack as well. Look at how much surface area the siege barrack along with the king cleared up top. And the path left over for the hog riders and the miners is perfect. It's just gorgeous. And now, a lot of the times these high hit point buildings tend to slow down the miners so that they fall behind the hogs, but the wizards are there to help because they have had tanking. It's always good to make sure you drop your P.E.K.K.A. and your Barbarian King in such a way that they can tank for the wizards and the wizards can get more value that way. But still a nice triple by easy money. So again, just remember the amount of defenses and the value you get on your queen walk and charge isn't the only thing that's important. Taking out a lot of surface area, making a nice narrow path for your hybrid is also essential. And getting the value out of the siege barrack is also important. There are a lot of little tricks to make sure you get a lot of value from those wizards, so make sure you plan for this when you scout for your attacks. So I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helps you with your queen walk or charge followed by the hybrid. If it did, then leave a like. If you want to see more guides like this, then subscribe so that you can stay up to date on my videos coming out. But for now, I will leave you with links to all the other Town Hall 11 stuff I've done, including the last Town Hall 11 video.